Name is Rebecca Haralabatos. As you could tell by my last name, I'm part Greek. I don't know if you can tell, part Greek and part German. And I was born in Brooklyn. I have some business in my background in the tech days, internet days. And I moved out to California and studied Iyengar Yoga um, I also studied psychology. So I'm a therapist, associate marriage and family therapist, and I'm an Iyengar Yoga instructor. Had moved from New York City to Sausalito and was taking classes in Anusara, and they offered Iyengar one day, and I went for the class, and I was standing in Tadasana Urdhva Hastasana, my arms up, and within just a few moments, beads of sweat were forming on my forehead, and I was thinking, but I'm just in Tadasana. And that's when I had my glimpse of Iyengar Yoga, and I walked out of that class feeling so cleansed. I would say the fundamentals is probably the best entry way into yoga, period. Because in the fundamentals program, we show you the shapes of some basic poses. And we move into some basic actions as well. So that once you are ready to enter into a regular class, you have this basic foundation to move from, and everything doesn't seem overwhelming. You have a basic sense of what the approach is and how to take the poses. But for the beginner, it's all like, wow, it's like visiting different countries within your own body, where you're all of a sudden like, oh, and my awareness can go into my toe, and then suddenly I can move my pinky toe, and I wasn't even paying attention or even connected to that part of myself for so long. And we get these parts in our bodies where we haven't visited for so long, and they get stuck, and then we are sometimes get some circulation issues around there. This brings a certain vibrancy and vitality that until you are actually doing it and experience it, it might be a little bit difficult to imagine. So when I teach the fundamentals, I get to see that. Iyengar Yoga, one thing that really stands out for me, and I try to let people know, is that for certification, it takes at least 3 to 5 years. There's anatomy, there's all these different things. It's not just this 200 to 500 hour program. And so there's a lot of investment teachers are making, and the amount that you pay for a class versus having to go to get physical therapy, or going to a chiropractor, it's a real service in many ways. And at the same time, I think people need to know when they come to Iyengar Yoga they need to know about this, because there's a way in which we're handing over, it's an oral tradition, we're handing over this huge amount of knowledge. And sometimes I think if you don't know that and you come in and somebody's telling you, put your mind into your arm and move it this way, or you might wonder, like, why is this person and what are they? And it's not until you actually feel it that you're like, oh, because now I can breathe better. I've just opened up my lung. Or, it's not until you experienced it, but it's also helpful to know when you're going and you're placing your health, your physical, your mental, your well-being into somebody's hands, to know, oh, I'm doing that with somebody who's really invested a lot of time in understanding this tradition.